This is a cute fishing village. We'll see. It looks cute so far. Here's the harbor at Victoria by the Sea. On a Friday morning, and all these cutesy artist craft shops seem to be closed. This house is really orange, not too common in California. Okay, we're at the Silver Dart Motel, and this kitchen is not as complete as the one yesterday. There's the living room and the queen-size bed and the TV and the dining table. This is our view on a very overcast and rainy day. It would probably be pretty if it were clearer. Maybe. The Silver Dart was built by the Aerial Experiment Association, formed by Alexander Graham Bell. The first controlled flight in Canada occurred February 23, 1909, when the Silver Dart was flown off the ice at Baddeck, Nova Scotia, by the designer J.A.D. McCurdy. He had lots of flying firsts, and from 1947 to 1952, he was the Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia. Visitor Center for Fort Louisbourg. Fortress of Louisbourg is a National Historic Site of Canada and the location of a one-quarter partial reconstruction of the 18th century French fortress. This is what it started looking like. It's much more substantial. Battery that was defending the harbor started as a fortified town by the French, and in 1744 France and Britain declared war after 30 years of peace, and the British and colonial warships attacked Louisbourg the next year. A peace treaty in 1748, but in 1758 the Brits attacked again, and after a 7-week siege, the town surrendered. The garrison inhabitants were deported to France for the last time. From the visitor center, you have to board this bus to get to the reconstructed fortress. By the mid-1740s, Louisbourg, named for King Louis XIV of France, was one of the most extensive and expensive European fortifications constructed in North America. Getting dropped off here, and the fortress is up there.
All the Chinese horse they watched, they were fishing proprietors. All the fishing would live outside of the walls and up and down the coastline. They're all here for cod. Each man has 2 lines, there's 3 men push her up. They put a piece of herring or mackerel on this little hook, and they go about a few miles out. When the boat is full, and the shore worker, clean them, gut them, put them in heavy salt for a week, then they go on the flakes to dry. Depending if the weather is dry by the air and the sun. Then the consumption is close to 2 years when it leaves here. Most of it goes back to France or the French West Indies. Because France, the majority of the people, they're all Roman Catholics, and they got about 150 days in the year where they don't eat meat. They got 40 days of Lent. They have Friday, Saturdays that time of the year, and they got holy days of obligation. That's why they want to call it feed the people. Madame de Roche had the first house here, 69 years old. What they do, they hire migrant fishermen every year that comes from France in May. They fish here till the end of September. They go back. They sleep outside these little log cabins. With the landlord, landlady, the bed is behind the fireplace. They spend the winter here.
They would dry the cod outside of the fortress. Okay, we're entering the fortress, and there's a moat here. There's a guard post, and some more of the moat. This is the officer's side of the guard post. Soldier's side, they don't have a fire burning in here, but I can see that there are a whole bunch of them that slept in here. Further along the way, there's a side street there, and here looks like the main street. And there's another gate, probably if you were coming by sea, you came through that gate. This tells about building these buildings, and under these flat stones was the drain. Not really separated, but a open trench with some flat stones on top. Heavy timbers held by mortise and tenon joinery characterized structures of Louisbourg, known today as half timber construction. Here's a pine tree, and there's the instrument used to shave off slabs, those big slabs, and stacked them up and put some stuff in between. These are the tools that they had to work with. Looks like a shovel, a right angle, a pickaxe, trowels, another shovel, big mallets. Here's a picture of them sawing a big plank of wood into thinner strips. Here we have some living quarters. Nice fireplace, lots of pots to go into, pewter dishes, bed rolled up, dining table, some china plates here, and a lot of pewter pitchers. Maybe this was an inn. These broken pieces were found here during the excavation.
Please, no, I do not.
Well, you know, you were doing a bit of coughing, so I was scared when you came over on this ship.
This is the home of Michel Rodrigue.
But Monsieur Rodrigue, he lost his home down at the quay. It burnt, so he's renting this from captain to gal. And Monsieur Rodrigue, he's married to Marguerite Lartigue, and she's Judge Lartigue's daughter. Good to have a judge in your back pocket. And to the period,
They did have glass windows.
now, when they restored
The master bedroom.
and they were reconstruction it.
These are reproductions, but of china that was found here and done by the same company who made it in the 1700s. Glass windows were made by the same company in France that made the glass in the
And all you
1700s.
gotta
This
do
was
is
a living room and office,
that's
and there were 11 people who lived here. Oh, there's a, I guess I'd call it a heater over there in the corner. In a storehouse. Not terribly surprising. Look at all the stuff in here. There's a canoe. Lots of wooden planks. Look at the size of that bucket. And I guess these are some traps. A scale. Oh, and some sort of an animal hide. That's probably a beaver pelt. And behind here we have some snowshoes. And a block and tackle. Got a frame, probably for drying fish, with a fire down below. This is a display about the Indians. The Micmac. They've called this area home. Here's a fireplace, and in here we've got a bunch of shells and rabbit for dinner. The whole area here of Cape Breton Island, and there were a number of different tribes here in the past and some still today. It's a Mi'kmaq warrior about 1744. This is coyote, and this one's real soft, so they think that this coyote was taken in the winter with his winter coat, and this one is certainly not as fluffy. Must have been his summer coat. Hide that was real soft And over here, this moose hide is not. And down below here, we have a beaver pelt.